Barnstable This Morning. Time now to turn our attention to Public Works, and for that I welcome our Director of Public Works, Dan Santos. Dan, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
How are you today?
Doing very well. How about you?
I'm doing well. Glad to see the weather warming up. We like it.
Yeah, it's slowly.
Yes. But there isn't any snow, so that's a good thing. But still kind of working on some issues that was caused by that snow. And today, want to give an update on what's going on over at Barnstable Harbor. A couple of different projects. Let's start with the Bulkhead Project. How is that Bulkhead Project progressing?
Well, it's progressing very well. The contractor there who is shoring up the bulkhead by installing some additional structural members started several weeks ago with the goal of having to be out of there by May 1st. We start to utilize the harbor. We weren't sure whether they were going to be completed by then, but as every day goes by, it looks more and more like they will, in fact, have all that work done by that date, as long as the weather continues to be cooperative. I mean, they can work in the rain, but if it's really deluge, it becomes difficult to get their work done. It just slows things down. So what they'll do is get those structural members in and backfill, get a base coat of pavement down, and we'll be good to go for the season. They'll come back in the fall just to put the final paving and paint some lines and guardrail and minor things like that. It's possible that they'll even get that work done, but I'm not going to bet on that.
Exactly. We're getting a little bit into April, still a few weeks left, but again, a lot of work left to be done, and it is going to be pretty rainy for the next few days, as you say. So that's good though that they're on they're on track and ahead of schedule. We always
we're all very pleased with the progress and the work they're doing. It's a good experience.
Indeed. And are there still some kind of closures down there, road closures due to that work people should be aware of?
Yes, there's a driveway that goes from Millway over to Freezer Road by the south end of the harbor, and that's closed off. That's where the construction company is staging their equipment and working from. But there's ways to get around through the other side, so it's just a little inconvenient for a short while longer. And then
great. Well, we'll look forward to the opening of the harbor on May 1st. But other work being done as well. Talked with our marina manager, Eric Schufelt, last week about the pile damage that is going on down there, and Town Council did approve some funding for that. So tell me a little bit about what kind of work is going to be done for repairing those damaged piles.
Yeah, as it turns out, it's really this replacing the piles that is really going to determine when the harbor opens, because even though the contractor will be out with the bulkhead, if the piles aren't in, there's nothing to connect the dock system to, and there won't be any dock. So it's quite a dance that we have to get through here to get everything in place. But we had bids open, and the piles are the tall wooden posts that you see in the harbor. And as I said, this is what we anchor the boat docks to and the boats to. And it's very important that they be in place and be in the appropriate place and solid to serve that function. And over the winter, about 30 of them, the majority of them, were damaged by ice. And what happened is you have about 2 feet of ice coming into the harbor with winds and tides, and it's extremely forceful and powerful, and that ice treats those piles, which are about 12 inches in diameter, like toothpicks, effectively, and snap them off. It's very, it's very interesting how it works, but unfortunately, it did do a lot of damage, and so we'll be putting them back in. We have a barge come in, the crane, and then they basically connect a device to the top of them, and they vibrate them in. They're 50 feet long, and they go in down into the sediment below the harbor about 20 feet. So they're way down there, and that keeps them in place throughout the season. Hopefully this is a one-time deal where they were damaged. Just the conditions over this winter was such that created this problem, and we haven't had it like this in the past. Occasionally you'll lose a few of them or a couple, but this year was just tremendous loss there.
Indeed, and I was, thinking about when Eric was here describing, how deep they go into the ground. I was thinking, wow, that's got to be kind of an intense process of putting these, big, giant 50-foot piles into the earth. And so you'll have to let us know when that's happening so we can come down and watch.
Oh, sure. Yeah, they vibrate them in. The other way they do them is they use a hammer. And if you've ever been in a city, you hear that bang, 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 and that's a pile driver.
Yes.
And it's a big hammer that hammers these piles, and they can be either wood, concrete, or steel. And depending on the application, they choose what's best. But in the marine environment, where we're just anchoring docks, wood is the material of choice.
Indeed. So when do we expect, is that work underway, or are they mobilizing for that?
They're mobilizing now. We're trying to finalize the start date, but it's going to be probably within the next 2 weeks, and it takes a couple of weeks to do that work. So it may go a little beyond May 1st, but we're working closely with our office, the harbor master's office, and the contractor to just coordinate all this work. And it is quite a coordination because we had to buy the piles ourselves, and they're actually being delivered tomorrow to the site, and they'll be ready to roll. So
great. Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing that work take place. Dan, I thank you so much, as always, for joining us here on Barnstable This Morning, and we'll check in with you again next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Dan Santos is our Director of Public Works here in the town of Barnstable. I totally want to watch that.
Yeah.
When they're driving those piles into that. I think that would be cool, because I'm a big nerd like that. Well, there's just one meeting.